Okay, Mike, so we're going to go over your inspection. Just for your information, not all of these pictures is there going to be defects. Some of them are just for the report. So if I kind of blast right through them, they're just pictures that are for the report. All right, so we got a brand new house built in 2015. We're going to start with the exterior. This is some of the front yard. Just for your information and note, there's a lot of gravel, asphalt, and different things mixed in with the soil and the fill for this yard. It's going to be really difficult to grow grass, so you're probably going to need to bring in some topsoil, um, bring the grade up a little bit, and then replant seed or sod. You got frost-free outside hose bibs, which are great. This here gas line to the right side of the meter needs to be painted. You don't want this pipe rusting out and staining your siding and just looking bad over time. So caulk around the hole where the pipe goes into the siding and mask off the siding and paint that. This is the rear deck. So the ledger here, the hangers are done properly. So the joists are done by the hanger, but the ledger is only nailed in. You can see the nails here and here. There should be a lag bolt or an ACQ lag screw connecting this to the structure of the home. Over time, these nails are going to fail and can cause the deck actually to collapse. So those need to be bolted in with an approved fastener. The front girder for the front of the deck should have been notched at the pole. They typically use a 4x6 instead of a 4x4, and they notch out some of the 4x6 and set this girder actually on the post instead of it just being sandwiched around it and then bolted through, which is the old way they used to be built. Now they're supposed to be on the post so that if these fasteners degrade over time, that the deck doesn't collapse. But just keep an eye on these fasteners. They're good for 10, 15 years, no problem. If they show signs of rusting or anything, I would just knock one out at a time. Take the bolts off, knock one out, and replace it with a new 1/2-inch bolt. Brand new Goodman central air conditioner. Does have the disconnect like it's supposed to. Overhead power. Everything's done well there. Edison connected. Stuff looks good. Get brand new driveway and gravel approach. It does have an existing culvert out at the ditch. I did look through it. It has a little bit of debris in it, but it is clear and water will be able to travel through just fine. Sidewalk's nice. They did a little detail on there. So just to the right of the bathroom window and up, so right 1 foot and up 1 foot. It's hard to tell, but this siding is pushed out right in here. There's a nail or something coming out of the building that's holding the siding out pretty substantially. When I ran my hand over it, it feels sharp, and over time that's going to pierce through the siding. So before that gets a hole in it, it'd be nice if somebody would peel this siding layer up and out, and then knock down whatever that debris is in there, and then reattach the siding, which is not a big deal. We climbed up on the roof, took a look at it. You were talking about the ridge vent and that you didn't see it. The ridge, the lumber is cut out for the ridge vent. This is like called Cobra. It's a different style. It's just a mesh net that goes over top of the shingles, and then the cap shingles go over top of it. Here's a little better view of it. It's not the hard plastic like you see a lot where it has a much bigger profile. Because this is continuous and it's the whole roof, it should vent all right. I didn't see any signs of any kind of humidity holding in the roof or anything. Gutters are clear. There's a little bit of rock in there, but that's going to be common from the guys installing the roof. Downspouts have extensions on them, which you want to keep. You got to keep water away from the foundation if you want to keep that crawl space dry. I'd put some splash blocks or some bricks or something out in front of here, so when this water's coming out of this extension, it's not tearing up the grass like you see there. So the heating contractor came and put his vent through the roof after the shingling was done. He didn't caulk in the nails there. That could use some adhesive. And then at the overhang on the front of the garage, yeah, I think this is the garage. It is the front of the house. It's the little gable that has the short roof off of it. There's 2 exposed nails there that just need to be sealed as well. That's the Krafft Road side. This is the west side of the house, the main ridge line. There's two pieces of drip edge come together here, and this shingle is really worn and it's already split. And this is actually, it's only a small little pen-sized hole right now, but over time this shingle's going to wear faster than everything else, and water can get in there. So I'd recommend that you, at the very least, get some sealant up there. Maybe even replace that cap shingle. None of the windows have screens on them now. I did see a bundle of screens up in the storage in the attic above the garage. You want to verify that all screens are in that pile though. Garage door opener. The auto reversing eyes on the floor worked well, but when I held the door like it came in contact with something, it's supposed to auto reverse as well. It didn't. There's a little pressure sensor screw inside this cover here. It's either in the front or the back. You can turn it down and decrease the pressure a little bit so that it'll reverse. That way if it comes down on your car or something, it doesn't break the door in half or really dent the car bad. So this is, when we talked on the phone, this is that intake for the furnace, the fresh air intake for the furnace. So you can see right above there's a lot of debris and stuff above it, and I really would rather see this thing piped outside. This is the exhaust pipe right here. I don't know why they terminated it in the attic, but it really should be run out into the fresh air out of doors. Kitchen sink window. Something crashed into it. It's got a pretty good whack on there. You know, this picture's really zoomed in, but it's a brand new window and it has some damage, just for your information. This is the master bathroom. The left side sink, the left side drawers. This is a screw that they actually screwed this drawer face on, and it's hard to see, it's dark on here, but you got the exact same thing here. They actually covered this with some caulk. I don't think this was your installers. I think this came from the factory like this, and it's probably never even was seen. But while everything's under warranty, I'd get these things replaced. You know, you don't want to have screws coming through your cabinets. None of the doors had door stops on them throughout the whole house. No mirrors. You're aware of all that stuff. It's just for your information. I've seen it. This is one of the bedroom windows. It's noted on the report. I can't remember right now exactly which one, but when I open and close all the windows, this one was hard to latch. The upper sash, hey, you got to make sure it's up tight and get these locks aligned well. All of them, the other ones worked flawlessly. This one here was just a little bit tough to operate. Same thing here, no door stops or hinge stops. These doors wouldn't have door stops. They'd have stops on the hinges to prevent them from banging into one another, or these handles from going right through the wall. Same thing, no door stops. No electric connections on either the range or the dryer, so you will need to have gas appliances when you move in for the stove and the dryer. Everything looked great inside the electrical panel. They had anti-corrosion paste like they're supposed to be. All the grounding was done well. Really nice, good workmanlike job. Just noting here that there was no electrical for the dryer. We did a carbon monoxide detector test on the furnace. She came up with 0 parts per million, which is great. It means everything's working well. This is that insulation I was saying. You know, I don't know how it got into the furnace box. The air intake should be sealed, but you know, just I struggle with that air intake being in the attic. I'd recommend that thing be piped the rest of the way out. 20 by 20 by 1 replaceable filter for your furnace. You want to change those, you know, at least once a month during your peak cycles, be it air conditioning or heat. You got a ground fault plug on your hot water heater. That's per code. If the hot water heater is not producing hot water, I would check here first. Chances are that this thing's tripped and it needs to be reset. That's a common problem sometimes with those devices being on there. No dielectric unions on the hot water tank. Any dissimilar metals, when their connection is made, they should be made by a rubber gasket so that the metal's not touching one another, causing corrosion. I'm going to recommend that you seal or cover, be it paint or whatever, this this exposed OSB flooring. If you get any kind of condensation or water or anything, this flooring is going to be very susceptible to swelling and damage. So I would maybe get some porch paint or something and seal that up as much as you can. I know we got fixtures. It's going to be hard, but so this is the doors for that mechanical room. So you have gas-fired appliance. This one draws fresh air from inside this room, not like the furnace, which draws its fresh air from its air intake. There is no fresh air supply into the room from outside, so these doors really should be louvered when they're closed like this. You might be starving this appliance of oxygen. Sump pump is blocked up well, and there was no water in it currently. I did test it. It does operate. I don't know that it'll pump water, but it turns on and off. This is the ground fault plug for the whirlpool tub. So it's underneath the tub in the crawl space. If the whirlpool's not working, unfortunately, the way they've put this, you're going to have to go into the crawl space and reset the breaker down there. This is your water meter. This is one shut off here. That's the city. It's traditionally that's the curb stop. That's outside, but that's inside the house here. And then you have a quarter turn valve here. So if you have a water emergency, this is where you want to come all the way to that would be the southwest corner of the crawl space and flip that handle, and the clean out for the sewer is right next to there as well. This is the laundry clean out. They never put a plug and a clean out in this Y here, so that's going to need to be done before you do any laundry. Yeah, so that was the findings. It's going to be a couple other little notes in the report that are just for your information, that they're not defects. But if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call after you get the report and watch this video. I'll be happy to go over anything that you want.